Right now, say I want Josh Taylor and get the Josh Taylor fight because he takes with him. That's right. So anybody on that pipeline right now, that's a big deal.
I talked his ass, but the same day that James Tony came in and signed the contract. Wow. So I'm talking to Bobo on the phones like this. Look, I got Zab on one phone, I got James on one phone.
He's gonna beat Sean. Everybody listen, he's gonna beat Sean. He's gonna beat Sean.
Mike Lewis is the perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Yo, welcome to Let's Talk Sports, y'all. We got a lot to get into, a lot to chop down, a lot to get into. We're gonna review before we get to the Super Bowl matchup, which is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. Before we get to that, we got to go back a little bit. I know I should have got to it, but we've been down in with boxing. And if you have not done so, please like and subscribe to the Let's Talk Sports channel, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. Also, if you have not done so as well, please check out my live interview with Gary Antoine Russell, who is en route to on co-main event of the Javante Tank Davis, Lamont Roach match in Brooklyn on March 1st, and he will be going against El Rayo Valenzuela for the WBA 140-pound championship of the world. Also on that fight card, the WBC championship, it would be Sandor Martin versus Albert Pujols, and on and on and on. Also this weekend, you got David Benavidez versus David Morrell, Pitbull Cruz, and Cool Boy Stephon versus Brandon Figueroa, 2 on the card. You also got on Sunday, you got Clarissa Shields defending her title against Danielle Perkins, which should be a dandy of a fight as well. You know what I mean? We got that. I had to run that over. Now let's get down to the things. Okay, first we're gonna start with the NFC side of things, where the Eagles pretty much, the Commanders had a great year. They had a great year. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. He was the rookie of the year. They had a dandy of a year. But unfortunately, it came to an end, and Philly went out there and they had a dominant performance, led by Saquon Barkley and also by Jalen Hurts. And to me, I'm going to be honest, the Jalen Hurts slander is crazy to me. Like I've been just seeing it all week. The man is in the Super Bowl, but yet they're still trying to drag him. And what he said in I'm glad Jeff Saturday said what he said on Get Up, because truthfully, he's heard the noise. He's heard the talk. So if you guys are going to be on these platforms and you're going to say things about these athletes and these players, when they respond, you got to be able to take it. If they can take what you're saying, then you should be able to take what they're saying back. So he didn't even say much. He just said, I got my straitjacket off, because y'all kept saying everybody's in a straitjacket because of him. But basically what he's doing is he manages the game. He manages the game. He does what he needs to do to win the game. And for those that try to say he's not essential, let's think about this. They played the Commanders here in D.C. They had 5 turnovers. He got knocked out of the game in the first quarter. They had 5 turnovers. They found a way that they came back and won the game 36-33 with 5 turnovers. He plays, they have 2 turnovers, and they can beat him by 30. So clearly he's the difference. Clearly he's different. He makes a difference. You know what I mean? Obviously he makes a difference. And so I just think that it's a size to winning the game. People pick and choose when stats matter. First it's like, oh, he got all these great stats, but he ain't win. Now he's winning, but he ain't got all these great stats. You got to make up your mind. At the end of the day, in every sport, no matter what the sport is, you play to win the game. You play for championships. We try to make it about everything when we don't like the person that's winning. We try to make it about everything else. We try to make it about viewership. We try to make it about how many tickets they sold. They try to make it about how many jerseys they sold. They try to make it out of everything when the person don't win. You know what I'm saying? When the person they like is not winning. But when the person they like is winning and somebody else is doing that, well, what championships they got? It's always been about championship. We're not going to change. We're not going to let social media change how we view how the games are looked at. Now about KC, everybody want to say KC is being held by the refs. I gave my 2 cents about the referees, but I'm going to give it again. Here's my issue. My issue with everything we talk about out here is keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. I watched Tom Brady. I watched Peyton Manning. I watched Aaron Rodgers. I watched Ben Roethlisberger. I watched many, many other teams and quarterbacks get these same calls for years. And it was no outrage. I watched them make up a call. We all did who were old enough to remember. I watched them make up a call. A tuck rule. We watched them make up a call. You know what I mean? A man fumbled, the other team recovered, and they went underneath the lab, and they took about 15 minutes and made up a call to give them back the ball. We've seen it happen. We've seen it happen. So now I'm not going to sit there and harp about KC and the refs because I've seen this for years, and not just this sport, many sports. In many sports. So we're not going to shout down heaven and earth on KC and Pat Mahomes because, like I said, I seen Tom Brady get them calls. I seen Peyton Manning get them calls. I seen Aaron Rodgers get them calls. I seen many people get them calls. So we're not going to shout down heaven and earth on them. I seen Michael Jordan get them calls. I seen LeBron get them calls. I'm just saying. I seen Kobe get them calls. I mean, it just how sports is. Take it how we go. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So right now, I mean, I picked KC to 3-peat. But I wouldn't be mad. What up, man? What up, cuzzo? Yeah, I'm saying I seen people get them same calls. But like I said, I would like to see a 3-peat, but I wouldn't be mad. I don't want Philadelphia to win, but I wouldn't be mad because how they slandering Jalen Hurts. I mean, the kid just wins. He does what he got to do to win. I don't care if he threw for 5 yards. If he get a chip, he get a chip. The same way we celebrate anybody else to get a chip. You know what I mean? So that's that with that. You know what I mean? So I can say it could go either way. You know what I mean? Philly got a team. The Saquon Barkley is a different maker. I said a long time ago, everybody yelling about Josh and everybody talking about Lamar. The real MVP is Saquon Barkley. I said that long ago. Saquon Barkley is the real MVP. You know what I mean? And if they don't get a chip, I know he's going to be really, he will have to think back years and years from now when he think about he sat out that last game of the year when he could have broke the all-time rushing record for a season. He is on pace for having the greatest rushing season ever. Talking about combined with the playoffs, the 2,000 yards rushing plus the 450 yards he got in rushing in the playoffs. Not even counting what he may do in the Super Bowl. He's on pace. He is having the greatest rushing season in the history of football. Period. Combined with the playoffs. You know what I mean? He should be the MVP. It's sad that it's a quarterback award, but he should be the MVP. No doubt about it. The man should be the MVP. I'm going to slide by the NBA because everybody's all of a sudden jumping on LeBron, jumping on the Lakers, and got the guns out for Bronny James. Listen, man. Let's be honest. For all the people saying, well, if he wasn't LeBron James Jr., he wouldn't be in the league. And if it wasn't for LeBron James Jr., he wouldn't be on the Lakers. That could be true. But if he wasn't LeBron James Jr., you wouldn't be talking about him on your podcast. If he wasn't LeBron James Jr., you wouldn't be talking about him on SportsCenter. You wouldn't be talking about him on First Take. You wouldn't be talking about him none. You wouldn't be talking about him if he wasn't LeBron James Jr. Right? If it was another 55, another player that was drafted 55th in the draft, would you be starting your show? Would you be going on whole rants? Would you be doing all of that if he wasn't LeBron James Jr.? That's his question. Is he playing great? No. But the extra, like I said, keep the same energy. That's my own thing. Keep the same energy for everybody. Tell me who was drafted 55th last year. Tell me who was. Do you know? Do you know? Who was drafted 55th the year before that? Do you know? Do you know? I'm not saying y'all not right for some of the criticism. It's the over the top. It's the over the top, unnecessary bang on the table. LeBron should be ashamed of himself and locked up. Man, listen, man, what father, just like Deion Sanders, what father wouldn't want to see that their sons is good? LeBron James kept his body in shape and he stayed around long enough to make sure his son was able to get an opportunity in the league. Whether it's right or wrong and different, that was his intention. I'm never going to shout down heaven and earth on a man because that was his intention, was to do the best. Same thing with LeVar Ball. He just did what he had to do to make sure his kids is good. That's the bottom line what they're doing, regardless of if you don't like how they do it, you don't like why they did it, you don't like their methods of doing it. This is what they did. Deion Sanders stuck around before, when his kids was little. He built his own. He built his own school and what have you to make sure he coached his boys up. He went to college to make sure he coached his boys up. He went to Colorado. He did everything he did was to make sure his boys was good. And I commend them guys for that. I'm not gonna sit up, and the slander they taking is crazy, but I'm sure they built for it. But it's just silly to me. It's silly to me. And them boy, and I'm going to celebrate them because it's right. Unrivaled continues tonight. I just think WNBA and Unrivaled, they're going to have a hard time competing with so many things that's going on. You know what I mean? You got the Pro Bowl games going on. You got all kinds of things going on, and they just in a bad spot. They in a bad spot. Also making buzzing news. You know, Caitlin Clark announced that she will not perform in the NBA 3-point contest. I kind of wanted her to do it. I ain't mad. I'm not mad at her decision, but I kind of wanted her to do it. I kind of wanted to see how that pan out. You know, I didn't think it was a good or bad thing. I think, if she did it, it's great. If she didn't, she was great. But I love how she's putting the WNBA on the forefront. She has been wonderful. She has been delightful. She's been everything that you asked her to be. But as we know, the media following her fans, that leaves a lot to be desired. But while we on the WNBA, Angel Reese yesterday on her podcast announced that she had paid her mother bills and her mother don't got to work no more. We've seen this done by other athletes and other people in the walk. Like, we've seen this done, actors. We've seen people do this, and it's celebrated. She does it, and once again, met with slander and all this kind of thing. How do you slander somebody taking care of their parents? It's crazy to me, but this is what they're up against. This is what they're up against, but, this is what we got to deal with in the world and in the WNBA. Free agency, but shout out to Angel Reese. She also got Reese's Puffs in the stores, and she got in February she has her own McDonald's special. So regardless of what we say about her, whether they think she can play or not, she's getting to the bag. She's getting to the bag, and sometimes that makes it hard. But as you see, she is working in the gym. She's playing an Unrivaled. She's practicing with Lisa Leslie. She's working out with many people. You know what I mean? But let's get to this WA free agency. Now, and so far, we've learned there was a massive trade that sent Kelsey Plum to the Sparks and sent Drew Lloyd to the Aces. And I'm seeing so many people, all of a sudden, everybody slandering Drew Lloyd. Like, I'm not trying to be funny, and this is no shot at Kelsey Plum or whatsoever, because I got nothing but love for Kelsey Plum, but getting Drew Lloyd is not a step down at all. At all. You know what I mean? The one responsibility that Drew Lloyd had that Kelsey Plum is yet to have is Drew Lloyd was the primary scorer. So people talk, well, her field percentage is not that good. When you're the primary scorer on any team, sometimes you have to force shots because you're the person that people depend on to score. Yeah, you the one that's gonna take the crazy shot with no time on the clock. You're the one that people expecting, to make miracles like this, like the unbelievable shot she made in against Atlanta last year, falling down out of bounds. Like, you got to take those when you're the primary scorer. You the one that's taking those type of shots. at the end of the half, at the end of the quarter, you're taking crazy shots because they expect you to be able to hit them. So yeah, that'll drive your field percentage down. That's different. But Kelsey Plum has never been asked to be the lead scorer. You know what I mean? She's not the lead scorer. She's not asked to. You know what I mean? That's easily Asia Wilson. And even when that's not the case, you still got Jackie Young who can take that reign. So actually, and I'm hoping the Aces get another big, and they don't have to be a big name big. I don't want them to get a big name big for everybody to be crying, they're a super team. They only win it because they're a super team. No, I want them to get another big. You can get Maisha Hines Island, Cheyenne Parker, Alyssa Smith, if the Fever don't want her. I mean, just one of them, and they good to go. They good to go. Chelsea, Jackie, Jewel, Asia, and just a formidable big, because no disrespect, Kia Stokes ain't it. No shot to her, but she ain't it. You know what I mean? She not it. Not when you got to go against Jonquel Jones and what Atlanta just did, by adding Bree Jones and Brittany Griner. So yeah, they come in the bank. They come in the bank. You know what I mean? Back to football. Brian Stott. Let me say this, Cowboy fans. Here's the thing. What the Brian Schottenheimer hire lets me know is what's going to happen is this. Cowboys will be much better next year. They'll have barring major injuries. You know, if they got some injuries that hinder a lot of people, that's one thing. But if barring any major injuries, the Cowboys are going to be much formidable next year. You know what I mean? They'll be good enough to make the playoffs. Probably may even, depending on how Philly go, because Philly is a juggernaut. And what they've done, by far, the best front office in the league is the Eagles. By far. Anybody that try to argue that is you just hating. Philadelphia got the best front office in the league. Bar none, because what he's able to pull off, he's been able to make big time trades, big time pickups, sign the people he need to sign, and still be in good position in terms of the draft. So like next year, like most of their best players are still under rookie contracts or already signed into their extensions. So they not only do they get to bring pretty much most of the whole team that they got back next year, they can add to it. So that may be a little hard for the Cowboys to compete with, but for the division title. But in terms of the Commanders, they bumping with them. They won't be, and even if the Commanders still find a way to be in second place, Cowboys will be a playoff team next year. They will be much better. Now, by the way you're talking about, think about this. You went 7-10 in a season riddled with injuries. From everybody, you name it. There's not too many people on the team that didn't miss games. Big time position players miss games. Michael Parsons missed 5 games. Zach Martin missed pretty much the whole season. DeMarcus Lawrence missed pretty much the whole season. Your other starting DN, Sam Williams, he missed the whole season. Dak missed half the year. You know what I mean? So I mean, Jake Ferguson. You go on and on and on and on. So many people. Trayvon Diggs missed half the season. So that's what I'm saying. Deron Bland missed half the season. So it was an injury-riddled season. Coaching was and there was some hinky plays. But the one biggest mistake they made, and I hate to say it, was extending Dak Prescott. That's what he shouldn't have did. Because I thought about this yesterday. You paid $60 million this year for a player that essentially probably would have won maybe one more game than Cooper Rush got you. Cooper Rush went 500. Cooper Rush went 4-4. Dak went 3-5. And Cooper Rush beat 2 playoff teams. Dak beat 1. But at the end, Cooper Rush went 500 and easily went for one of the most boneheaded plays in the history of football on that Monday night game against Cincinnati, where a guy decided he just wanted to touch a block punt for no reason. Cooper Rush easily could have been 5-3. You know what I'm saying? Easy. So what I want to know is, we paid 60 million. I was completely with starting the season next year with either Dak on a lame duck contract or Cooper Rush and Trey Lance playing the whole year. As we could clearly see, Cooper Rush could have went 7-10 by himself. We didn't need Dak to go 7-10. But like I said, the coaching decision is horrible, but it's gonna look good all year next year until the playoffs come. You know what I'm saying? So basically, Cowboy fans, what you got to look forward to is the same cycle you've been looking forward to. Next year will be much better. Next year, probably be a playoff team just to get bounced and be disappointed in the playoff team and spend another year thinking about why they didn't make it to at least the championship game. It's facts. So until he decides to get out of his own way, and for those that want to know, did I want Deion? Yes. I think Deion wasn't going to get an instant success. But Deion is a motivator and Deion is a magnet for players. See, Deion is a magnet for players. See what I'm saying? Deion will make players want to play, make players want to come play. But even the ones that are there, he'll get the best out of the ones that are there. Brian Schottenheimer is basically going to do whatever Jerry tell him to do. Jerry found somebody else he can just tell what to do. Our biggest problem right now is Jerry, and number 2 is Dak. He failed to get it done. Dak and Lamar Jackson are cousins. They are cousins. Great regular season quarterbacks come up short in the playoffs. You know what I mean? And I know my mans and them that ride with Lamar can be like, don't compare him to Dak. He got one more playoff win than Dak. He did make it to a championship game, and he didn't do well in that game. So that's it. He got 3 playoff wins. Dak got 2. See what I'm saying? And Jaden Daniels got to a championship game as a rookie. So you take that how you want to. And Jalen Hurts has been to the Super Bowl twice. You know what I'm saying? You know, neither one of them have won an MVP. We got a guy with 2 MVPs competing for a third. And it's not me dissing him. I love Lamar Jackson. But we got to keep the same energy. We got to keep the same energy until he either makes it to the Super Bowl or Dak makes it to a championship game in the Super Bowl. Until they do that, we're going to look at them as guys who don't get it done when the bright lights come on. Come with the territory. Come to the territory. Come with the territory. Now let me get to my boxing of DC guys. Boxing of DC guys. We got a hefty slate of boxing coming up soon. Hefty slate. Starting with this weekend with David Benavidez and David Morrell, which I think is a good fight. I think it's a great fight. I really like the fight. And may the best man win. I like both of them. A lot. Morrell, we're going to find out if you really was meant to be on this level. Because I think a lot of times we push the envelope fast, furious to get people in fights, and maybe they ready, maybe they not. But like I said, let it happen. But we're going to find out because he only has a handful of fights. He has a handful of fights. You know what I'm saying? So let me see what we got here on this card. You got Isaac Cruz, Jesus Ramos. Wow, Jesus Ramos fighting Banana, Rosario, Andy Ruiz on the card. Angel Ruiz. We got a nice card, though. We got a nice little card. Three little fights set up. Like I said, the main event is that, and then a couple weeks after that, the next day you got Clarissa Shields versus Daniel Perkins, which I think is going to be a much tougher fight than people anticipate. I hope, of course, I'm voting for her. That's my girl, but I want her to be on her best behavior because this girl can really fight. Then we got Belichick versus Keyshawn Davis in New York. Xander Zayas on the card. Jared Anderson making his rematch. Nico Ali Walsh is also making his comeback. Then we got Jack Catterall versus Arnold Barbosa. It's a lot going on. Stay tapped in. Stay tapped in. Oh, I forgot in the WNBA. Alyssa Thomas also got traded from the Connecticut Sun to the Phoenix Mercury. And Natasha Cloud got traded as well. I ain't understand what Connecticut doing. Connecticut cleaning house. You know what I mean? Connecticut cleaning house. So I'm not sure what they're doing. I know DeWanna Bonner is going back to Phoenix. She's going to be in Phoenix. She's a free agent, so I know most definitely she's going to get her make her way to Phoenix. Talk to me what y'all think about the NFL playoffs. What y'all think about the upcoming fights. Anything. Before we get up out of here. Yeah, so wait, the free agent frenzy is going on in the WNBA, and then we will be set for our Super Bowl. And then, like I said, you got a gauntlet of fights coming up. Boxing is going to pick up in the next month and a half. Month and a half, we're going to get a whole bunch of them. And most definitely, I will be in Brooklyn. For that tank card and supporting my man, Gary Antoine Russell, in his title shot against El Rayo. And shout out to El Rayo for being a real one. Like I said, El Rayo was the one who was like, yeah, let's do it. And that's what champions do. He was looking for the best person available. All the other people that he thought Pitbull didn't want a rematch. And T.O. was obligated. All the other people that was available said no to El Rayo. Gary said, yeah, so here we are. So with that said, like I said, if you have not had a chance, please like and subscribe to the channel, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. And also, if you have not checked out my interview on Monday with Gary Antoine Russell, it is also on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and IG. Peace. Y'all be blessed.